Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Reagan,
I'm Anna.
and this is episode 2 of the Until We Get There podcast.
Very exciting. We got all our stuff. We got our mugs,
We do, they are here. You
and
can't see them, but they're
we
there.
have the candle. It's not lit. We're just not gonna talk about it. It's the lucky candle. But
Yeah,
we're not at my house today. We're at Reagan's house.
yeah, a
New
little bit
background.
different setup. It's exciting. It's a bit more chaotic, but
A
it's
lot of
fun.
pictures. The picture walls. A lot of exciting stuff going on.
Exactly. So for today's episode, we contemplated a lot on exactly what we wanted to talk about. We have kind of this list of a bunch of episode ideas and stuff like that, and we decided to do this episode on stress.
Yes, because we're very stressed.
Yes.
I think the main stressor. I think the big thing in the last couple of weeks was we were both in the play. She was the lead. I just did the costumes, which was still stressful, but not as stressful for me as it probably was for her.
Yeah, it was something that it's kind of a process. I feel like with any sport or any activity that you get into, sometimes it's very easy to get over your head. And once I got the lead, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be so awesome!" And don't get me wrong, it was, but I actually had an eye twitch that developed. That just all of a sudden, I woke up one morning and I just saw my eye just right here twitching, and I was just kind of
I
like,
witnessed it. I'd be in class with her, and I'd look over and it'd be twitching her eye. And I'd be like,
it was
I was like,
creepy.
what's happening? Reagan, are you okay?
It was very scary. But my stress levels were just at an all-time high, trying to balance that with school testing and finals before we went to winter break. It all was
It was
extremely
a lot.
stressful.
I was doing the costumes, so I basically did most of the costumes for the play, most to all of the costumes. Which was pretty stressful because I felt like a lot of weight was on my shoulders just because yes, and the actors were all ready, so I was like, well, if I don't give them costumes that are as good as their acting, then I'm gonna feel bad. So doing that alone kind of was very stressful. And then during the show, we had one mishap with the costume, which wasn't even a mishap, and it got blown out of proportion a little bit. Um, but I had my Apple Watch on while this was happening, so I was running from back and forth, and my heart rate during that period had a 208. And I'm a pretty anxious person, so I had to after that I sat down with my head between my knees and I was sitting in the costume room and I was like, oh my god, I can never do that again.
It's insane. And it's something, especially with that whole process, it was kind of masked by all the excitement and all the busyness going on. And when I would take a step back, I'm like, oh my God, this whole process is so stressful.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot.
Yeah. Um,
I guess that. Okay, that was my main stress in the last couple of weeks. But now, I think I think it's a stressor that is kind of always present for me is the whole college thing. I feel like that is always kind of pressing down, and anytime I try to think about what I want to do with my life in general, I get so stressed out I can't think about it.
I feel like it's kind of this whole step by step process. I know in the college plans, at least for my family, we're both juniors now, and my sophomore year, I did a bunch of virtual visits. So it's freshman year, got my list of colleges. Sophomore year, we did virtual visits, and then junior year, I physically visited some schools. But it feels like this never ending process and this never ending loop that we keep kind of getting swept up in. And that's definitely, I feel like that's notorious for junior year, that it's your most stressful year of high school, but it's definitely no joke.
Yeah, I think for me, right now, is there's a lot of testing going on. So we already took an SAT. That one actually wasn't that stressful because I took it with the mentality that hey, I am already signed up to take another one. This is kind of a baseline. But this upcoming week, I take the ACT, which I actually have been prepping for. So this one's more stressful because I've put in the time and the effort and kind of need to get a good score on this one. I don't have that leeway as much. So that's a big thing right now for me.
Yeah. It's hard because you always want the best for yourself and you want to give yourself the best opportunity, and especially once you start categorizing your schools for college, once you kind of have that top school, it's that mentality. It's stressful. I get stressed about things that are completely out of my control. thinking about my top college and my top school and trying to do everything I can to get into that school. I'm doing all that I can and I'm still getting stressed out and I
Yeah.
question why am I doing this to myself?
And I feel like your parents are generally more involved in that whole process than they are with me. Like my parents, we are planning to go on like college visits and all this stuff, but I also have older brothers, so they kind of already went through the process twice. So it's not that they're less involved with me, but they're just kind of letting me do it on my own. So like of course, I have a list and I know what I need to do to get into some of these top colleges, but I feel like I have less guidance with it. I'm just kind of like off on my own doing it, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's definitely been a helpful part of my stress. I know my dad specifically has helped so much in this process, but not only him, both my parents have been willing to kind of like sit down and anytime I want to talk about it, they're always there. If I want to share my feelings, it's just hard because I'm the type of person who kind of especially about college and especially about just school stressors, they always ask me like how do I get it done and I probably couldn't tell you. I let myself get so stressed up, but I tuck it all down and just hope for the best.
Yeah, I think my main stressor, which is something I think a lot of people suffer, but a lot of my friends, like I know Reagan is pretty kind of set. She knows really what she kind of wants to go into more of. My thing is I straight up do really not know what I want to do. So like my whole life I was very set on going into medicine. But only recently did I start to like branch out and realize that there's like a lot of other things that I might enjoy more. And so lately, that's like my big thing. Like I'm literally doing a project about the fact that I don't know jack squat about what I want to do with my life in AP Lang. And while presenting my proposal for this project, I started crying in front of my AP Lang teacher. It was not a great day. I'm fine though. We're fine.
It's hard. I get so stressed about things that are so out of my control. I feel like I have my whole life planned out and thinking about, well, what if this doesn't happen or what if this doesn't happen and I try and step back a little bit and try and put it into a bigger perspective of I can barely control what's going to happen tomorrow, let
Yeah.
alone 5 years from now. And I think that's the hard part about my stress is I'm stressing about stuff that's so far beyond my control and I need to worry about what I can
Yeah.
control.
I mean, our dream school kind of together, if we were both to get in, which would be really amazing, would be like University of Michigan, which is definitely a hard school to get into, but it's not impossible. But we have this like document that just tracks our entire lives. So it's like, okay, either we both get into U Michigan so we can room together, or we like straight up we're just gonna go to University of Colorado. Will either of those things happen? I do not know.
And exactly, and it's like kind of this like dream of ours and it'd be so awesome for it to happen and sometimes I'm like, what if it doesn't happen and I get, stressed about it and it's something that it's so awesome if it can happen, but if it doesn't, that's so far beyond our control and
Yeah.
I guess I'm trying to find ways to combat like those little stressors.
Yeah, I kind of has thought like my brother did not get into his dream school, but is doing so well at the school he is, and we always kind of say like maybe it was better that way. Like this school was what was meant for you because he's so insanely happy there. So my whenever I kind of think about that, like what if I don't get in and stuff like that, I always just think, well, I'm gonna get in somewhere theoretically, and I will make the best of it, and maybe that's where I am meant to be, rather than like maybe University of Michigan. If we were to go there, if we don't get in, maybe it's because like that's not the right place for us. Maybe it's too hard or it would be too stressful, and it will be better somewhere else.
I'm definitely everything happens for a reason type of
You
person.
definitely are, and
I
I'm actually not
I
really.
definitely believe, whether it's someone or something, if it happens, it maybe not so much like fate, but it was definitely meant to happen and it definitely was meant to like impact your life and stuff like that. So I definitely need to keep up that mentality. Like I probably could not keep going through this process like without that mentality of wherever I end up, I know I'm probably going to be happy and I just kind of need to keep that in my end goal. And I think with all stress, regardless of where it is or where it's how it's being like facilitated, it's just thinking of like what are you going to get out of it? And like you're going to be happy in the end. So it's kind of trying to find ways to, like, cope and deal with that stress in the moment so you can get to that greater end goal.
Yeah, you definitely take kind of a different perspective on it than I do. I think I have Reagan's very bubbly. I think I'm more of a pessimist in specifically regarding like the college thing. Um, I don't have the same like, oh, I'll end up where I end up. Like I have that mentality, like, yeah, I will be where I end up, but um, yeah, I should adopt your mentality. Maybe I'd be less stressed about it if I were like, it's fine.
I think it's okay to kinda have both mentalities because I guess some flaws with, just kind of being like wherever I end up, like I'm afraid I don't want to get too lazy and I don't want to because I'm content with the couple schools that I have on my
Mhm.
list. I don't want to set my sights too narrow and be like, well, wherever I end up, wherever I end up, like
Yeah,
I still think it is good to I guess have that.
it definitely is. I don't know. I just like try not to think about it too much. I think about it when someone asks me about it, and then I just give them the straight up answer of I have no idea where I'm gonna end up, and I don't know what I want to do, and that will be something I figure out hopefully in the next year.
It's like this loose thread. I feel like that's the best way to describe it, is I kind of, like, snip or, like, pull at it, and it just keeps coming back.
Yeah,
It's like I take away, like, one chunk or cross out one step in the process, and there's 20 more that I'm unaware
and
of,
there's
and
so many.
it piles up so much, and I feel like it's so inescapable, but that's kinda what I'm working towards. Like, I just feel like I'm gonna be so it's I shouldn't say less stressed when I go to college, but it's a different kind of stress.
I think I will thrive in college. I think I will be significantly less stressed than I am now because I feel like my main stress is like my grades. I'm pretty intense about my grades. Like I check my grades and everything like consistently throughout the day, and the moment like it slips, I'm immediately like emailing my teacher like, how can I get this back up, stuff like that. And I think once I get into college and I'm taking classes that are solely focused on like what I'm interested in for the most part, I think. And college just seems epic with the fact that like you don't have to wake up as early. You just have more free time. I'm just very excited for it.
Um, and my dad, I guess, brought up a really good like perspective, and he was just kind of like, I know this process is stressful, and he was like, I didn't really have any like help when I was going through it, but he was kind of saying, think of this as a way to kind of like see all your achievements throughout high school and kind of think of it as like a way to like see your growth, but just more so focus on like the freedom that you'll have kind of when this is all over.
Mm-hmm.
And that's definitely what's keeping me going. And I'm trying to see the gain through all this stress because it definitely is a stressor. Like all of junior year, you're focused on the ACT or the SAT, or you're focused on your grades. It's so intimidating knowing you have kind of this burden. Like this is the year that colleges look at most, and
Yeah.
every day that my grade slips, I'm kind of like, oh my god, like
Like,
how
are they
what am I
not
gonna
gonna?
do?
Yeah, because I think now and even more than ever, and also like I'm signed up for so many activities, and so are you, because like the way colleges are working now, it's like less about grades and scores, which is kind of stressful because I was hopefully like I'm involved in a lot of stuff, but I thought that my grades and my scores were going to be a big part of getting into college, and really now it's more like the essays are so important now, and I don't know what I'm going to write those essays about, but they better be good.
Exactly. I've started to look at some of the prompts, and one of the prompts just for my colleges is like for Michigan, it's like why Michigan? It's like the most basic question, and I don't even know how to answer it. And it's hard.
Yeah, I think for me, like my essay like that, it might be cheesy, but I might just talk about like I visited Michigan when I was like 8 with my brothers. I could just pull the I went here. I saw it when I was 8 and I fell in love. Like I just want to go here. Um, but that also might be a ton of people's problem. So maybe I have to think farther outside the box.
Yeah. I it's kind of a hope for the best, but you know, junior year it does get better. It has its ups and
No,
downs.
it's just a pain.
I guess it'll be okay, maybe all of junior year is a little bit of a down, but I think senior year, it can really only go up.
That's really true.
It
Like
can
I'm a
really go
senior,
up
I
from
can
here.
really only go up. There's no way I can be more stressed than I am this year.
That's pretty accurate. I'd say freshman year is about, like, here on the stress level. Sophomore year is about here.
Sophomore year was down here because of
Ju-
COVID.
Junior year is about, like, out of frame. Like,
Out of hand. Junior year is like my stress levels are like through the roof. But and like college is just like a long term stressor. Like the grades thing is like not even just at college. It's like having a test is I get so like if I have a big test, I shut down for like 2 days and I'm just completely like I don't even play Minecraft with Reagan when I have a big test. Which is saying a lot because that's pretty much a ritual.
I get insane. It's not even about, like, the content on the test, and I think that's what's so hard about the whole, like, college and stress is I'm not even focused on what I'm learning. I'm focused on the letter grade or the number I get to
Hmm.
see at the end of the whole process. Like, I remember math. I fought so hard to get an A just so I could see the 90.01 for it to show up as an A in the grade book.
I fought hard for an A in AP Calc, and I did not get an A. But my thing about grades is also like I accept. I've been what I'm like a grade above in math, so like when I get a B in math, I kind of always equate that to almost getting an A if I were in a lower math class. So I always kind of accept. I figured out really early that if I stress myself out that much about math, I will cry and have a breakdown. Math is not my thing. Anybody who has ever talked to me about anything knows that I absolutely despise math. And you might say, Anna, if you despise math, why would you take AP Calc? And to that, I would say, my bad. I regret my decision.
I just anytime I start getting more stressed about school, I will look through my, like, Snap memories. I don't know why, but it's always been a thing. I just take pictures of me crying. I don't know whether it's,
I
like,
do the same thing.
funny or what, and I don't know how it started, but I just look through all the snaps of me crying, and I just try and be like, "Don't put yourself through that again. Don't
Hmm.
let yourself get to that point again." I'm still working on it, but
I'm working on it and I have not found the way to do it. Genuinely, if I'm stressed, generally not genuinely, my bad. I think I usually throw myself into a book. Like if I'm not texting anybody because I'm stressed, it's because I'm straight up curled up somewhere with a book, just trying to like be anywhere but where I was. Um, but I just like tests. It sounds so basic, but I like when I have a test, it's to the point where like I'll wear a hoodie that has like a soft sleeve because I have to have something to like do with my hands. I'm one of those people who like if I get anxious, like pick at my fingers.
Mm.
So that's like you see them now. You can't see them, but they are.
Yeah, I always wear a bunch of rubber bands on my wrist so I can either play with my hair or play with the rubber bands when I'm taking a test.
I honestly, my one thing about the school system is I think they should let us wear our AirPods while we take tests. I think if I had my studying playlist, we're not going to talk about what's on the studying playlist because I'll give you a hint. There's some Tangled, there's some How to Train Your Dragon, and they're all classical, like, you know what I mean. Anyway, if I had that while I was doing math, I'd be like, let's go. Here we go. How to Train Your Dragon is blasting in my ear. I can do this derivative.
And I think that's kind of the whole message we're trying to, like, have with this episode is try and find little ways to combat your stress and to make you happy. We're trying to be as relatable and as honest as possible. We get stressed and it's so easy to get stressed. It's so easy to let it pile up. I literally let my stress pile up so much to where my eyes started twitching and clumps of my hair were falling out. You don't want to get to that point. You don't want to let
I think
yourself
I
get
have
there.
eye twitch now. Just this week. Like, it's up here. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe I'm imagining my brain,
Oh
but it's
no.
more like. Maybe it's happening now. But, like,
Not you too.
I do. Didn't you see
Yeah.
it? I don't know what. I think my stress today, this week, would be my bio test. Didn't go well, considering the fact that the teacher didn't put the grade in because he said, you guys all failed. We'll try again on Friday and see if you guys can upgrade this. And I was like, oh, I don't know how bad I did compared to everybody else. Maybe I did amazing and everybody else just failed. But I really highly doubt that. I probably tanked it too.
And my mom has like a pretty hard job at work, and she gets so stressed all the time, and she started like meditating, and I've been so reluctant to meditate.
No, meditating is the best.
I've like refused. I've yet to dabble in that, but I she told me to start like journaling, and I started journaling or listen to like stress reliever podcasts, and it's awesome. I'm not sure this is maybe like the most stress relieving podcast, but I'm hoping you guys can kind of take away some stuff from
Yeah,
it.
I guess we can like transfer. I've been like mixing up words today.
It's like when are
We
you
can continue
sprouted?
into um we can continue into how we cope with stress. Because I think my main thing is I do yoga. I would not call myself like an avid yoga person. I don't seem like I guess I don't really seem like a person who would do yoga. But I take the yoga class at the school and I try to do yoga occasionally before bed, depending on when I hang up on Reagan. Um, but honestly, yoga actually doesn't really relieve my stress that much. Yoga kind of stresses me out. I don't. It's kind of the opposite effect. I don't know why I would bring it up if it stresses me out, but
It helps
try yoga. Maybe
sometimes.
it will help you. It just doesn't help me, but I still enjoy it.
One thing I've done is just as I set aside time to like study or do homework, I always make sure to set aside time to either scroll through TikTok or watch like a movie or watch YouTube or watch Netflix. It's probably about like an hour. Because I know if I don't do that right before bed, like I'm mad about it.
Yeah.
It's that feels like my personal time, and that helps me get less stress when I'm doing homework because it's always kind of that end goal that I have.
The way my schedule works is like I get home from whatever I was doing. Usually these couple weeks, this last week, I did come home right after school because I don't have anything this
Yeah,
week.
that never happens.
It never happens. But I always make myself something to eat because I generally don't really eat lunch during the day because I don't have a lot of options for me at the school. So I come home and I like make myself a snack and I usually put on either New Girl or Baby Daddy, like a sitcom, and I'll sit down with my dog and like watch that, and then I'll throw myself into like my homework. Or one of my big things is if I am extremely stressed out to the point where I'm like picking at my nails or like really frenzied, I'll sit down at the piano and bang out a song. That's a good coping. If you play the piano, props to you, but also use that as piano used to stress me out, but now piano is a de-stressor for me.
Yeah, so just like her, I've finally had some time off and some like weeks off because in first semester it's pretty much all golf. And as soon as the golf season's over, I go right into drama, and then it's immediately your 2-hour rehearsals. I come home, eat dinner, then it's already late and I still have to shower, do homework, and it becomes this whole mess. And now that I've had some time, I'm trying to find ways to like utilize my time. So one thing that I've been doing, I always typically shower at night. I've been showering right after school, which is weird. I've never really
I
done
don't
it
know if I like
before,
that.
but when I'm in like the shower or I'm in like a bath, I'll like put on a show, or listen to music, and it resets. I can kind of like clear my head, and then once I kind of feel like all like clean and calm, then I can like start my schoolwork, kind of have like a fresh mindset before I go into that. And then I'm way more efficient, way more productive, and I can get it done pretty fast. And then once I eat dinner, all of that time after dinner, instead of worrying about schoolwork or worrying about showering, I have that whole time to just relax and kind of watch a show or watch a movie, and
I
it's
think
awesome.
usually what I do is I have like two sections of homework. I have the math and bio, which is usually not actual homework. It's more like studying to keep up with material. And then I have my other classes like AP Lang and A Push and stuff like that, more like assignments. Because those classes I don't really struggle to get good grades in. I just kind of ride it out.
Yeah, it's busy work.
It's busy work. So that stuff I get done like right off the bat. And then I'm not like Reagan. I refuse to take a shower when I get home. I have to. I'm one of those people who can't like handle non-clean things on my bed. So like I take a shower directly before I go to bed so that I'm clean because the thought of going to bed is out. Sometimes when
See,
I'm
I'm the
stressed and
same
I'm
way.
not showering, that is bad. If I'm not showering, you don't want to talk to me because that means I'm off the walls stressed.
See, I'm the same way. I can't have any like non-clean things on my bed. But once I'm showered, I get into like my PJs and I put on my slippers and I get all like comfy and cozy. I can throw my hair up finally. It's a great feeling.
I think I would do what you do if I knew when I came home I didn't have to go anywhere else. Because like
It's
I
true.
always either I always have to make dinner for my family because my parents don't get home till like pretty late. Or I always have to pick up my sister from somewhere, which is such a pain. Really throws a wrench in my schedule sometimes, but it is what it is.
See, I guess it's like when I have no plans, I truly have no plans. But when I have stuff going on, it all piles onto the same day.
Yeah, I feel like I don't have an even distribution. Like there'll be one day where I absolutely
Oh, I
have
never do.
zero free time. You know what's so nice about today? This is kind of like off topic.
Yeah.
The ninth, we had a 9:30 a.m. start today. I genuinely think that all students would be happier if we had a 9:30 start every day. I won't mind if we go school, like have to go, even if we had to like add a couple extra days at the end of the year. Like I genuinely would not care because sleeping till 8:30 today was a godsend.
It's so I've always been the type of person. I wouldn't call myself a morning person. Um, at night, I just feel way more at peace with the world at night, if that makes
Oh,
sense.
100%.
I love staying up late, and pretty much every day over winter break, it was a type of thing where I'd stay up till like 3, 4 in the morning, and then sleep until
Sleep
noon.
until like 1. I'd text her and she wouldn't get back to me
And
for like 5 hours. I'm the kind of person who will stay up as late as Reagan does, but
and then
also
you just wake up at the crack of dawn.
I just don't sleep, kind of, which is really
I
bad. But
I kind of like switch my sleep schedule, but it's nice, and I love utilizing that time at night. And last night, when you don't have to be up at 6 in the morning to go to school, it makes such a
I know
difference.
after we got off FaceTime, like I had the time to not only read like a good amount of my book, but I also watched Sister Squad, which was I had been avoiding watching it. I don't really know
What did
why.
I
I never got
say?
into it, and Reagan
What
was like,
did I
"If we're gonna be
say?
friends, you have to watch this video." And I was like, "Okay, I'll watch it." And I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. It was
Exactly.
pretty funny. Um, but I feel like that kind of thing, like watching a mindless YouTube video or something, is always something I do to de-stress.
I wouldn't say I get judged for this. My parents kind of make fun of me for it a little bit, but I'm not one for change. I'm not one for like new
No,
things.
I hate change. It messes with my head.
But I make lists of all like my comfort shows. Like in my notes app, I have like comfort movies, comfort songs,
Mm-hmm.
comfort everything. And so when I get stressed, instead of trying like a new show or anything like that, I rewatch stuff that I know I'm gonna love or that I know is gonna put me into a good mood. So I have a list on Netflix where you just like hit the little check mark and it compiles a list and it's all my favorite shows. Instead of new shows that I want to watch and put on my list, I put my comfort shows. And on YouTube, I shared with her a playlist. I have just a playlist that says my comfort videos. And it's like anytime I get stressed or anytime truly just want to be totally at peace, I watch those videos.
Yeah, my thing is every week I make sure that I have a night. I actually don't have a night this week, which is really sad. But I usually this is an exception week. But I always try to make sure I have one night where I can go out, and usually my family is gone at least one night of the week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I always make sure I go out and I get one of my favorite foods. So I either get like ramen or I'll pick up like a roll of sushi because those are like my things. And I will come home and I will sit in my bed and I will put on a movie and I will eat my whatever I'm eating and then I will take a bath. And I think that is like I'm the kind of person who my social battery little to none, little to none. So after a week, if I don't have that time to like just completely, I always like put my phone away too, and I'm just like in my bubble. If I don't have that, I will kill somebody. Like I will lose my mind.
It's all about balance. And I think it's bogus when people are like, well, that's dumb. Like, you're just going through school and everyone does it. Like, heck no. Like, you worked your butt off that week. And even if you didn't, you deserve that
Yeah,
weekend night. Even if your weekend's busy, find some time and treat
yeah.
yourself.
Because some of my other friends will like, they're not be like pissed. They're like, they'll get a little frustrated with me because there'll be some nights where they're like, "Can we do something tonight?" And I'm like, I just really like this morning they wanted to go get breakfast, and I was like, I really don't want to. I really want to sleep. Like I haven't been sleeping, and so I was like, I'm gonna go to sleep, and I could tell like that they were kind of like, oh my god, she's being like oh dramatic about it, or like when I don't want to go out, they're like, why not? Why not? I'm like, I just like don't want to. Like I would rather be in my pajamas at my house. I'm more of that kind of person.
I am 100%. I'm totally a homebody.
Yeah, and people like make fun of you, be like, you don't need that much time to yourself. Like, you might not, but I do. Like, I'm not. If you want to spend your weekends like consistently talking to people and going out with people, like, go for it. I hold no grudges. I wish I was that kind of person, but I'm just genuinely
Going out and partying every night of the week is so much effort. I don't know how better way to say it, but when I'm at home, I'm in my bed, I'm comfortable, and it's recharging that battery.
not.
If I'm out every night, it slowly gets depleted,
Yeah.
and it's too much to where the point it's not fun for
And
me.
my thing is like Sundays. Sundays are my day, man. I always like I try my hardest not to plan anything for myself on a Sunday,
See,
which
I hate Sundays.
I didn't do that this week. My bad. I'm volunteering with her at 6 in the morning. It's her fault. She told me to sign up. But it's my day to like I have a math test on Monday, so like it would be my day to hunker down, get through all the schoolwork I can get through, so I have less during the week because I know that will come back and kind of kick my butt.
See, that's why I hate Sundays.
I
I
don't say I
always have
love.
stuff to do on
I don't say I love
Sundays.
Sundays. Sundays are my day of productivity. Like if you see me on a Sunday where I don't have anything going on, I'll wake up. I don't wake up early. That's the one thing I don't do. I wake up and then I do my laundry. I clean my room. I get everything set up for the week. I'll do any homework that I already have.
I don't mind Sunday nights. Sunday nights is kind of when the productivity kicks in. But like Sundays during the day, I don't know why. They just don't do it for me. They don't feel like a weekend.
And yeah, I
I'd
guess
take a Thursday over a Sunday, like any day.
that's so odd to me. That's so odd. And Sundays, like if I don't have anything going on, I will I will read a book. I've mentioned reading like 5 times. I'm a reader.
I
Reagan knows
can't relate to that.
the, maybe we'll try to take a picture of my bookshelf and like make it one of the covers because it is absolute insanity. I get through like at least 2 or 3 books a week.
I haven't read a
You know,
book in years.
yeah, you scare me. I gave her recommendations. I think I shared my book list.
I
With you.
try. I have a little drawer here that's
I
like
bet I've read like every book in that drawer.
full of books.
From what I can see right now, I've read 4
I have a bucket list book, but that's more of like a picture book.
Yeah.
That's what I've
I
read.
like so that's my thing. Like Sundays, if I don't have anything going on, I will be sitting on this giant beanbag I have, either taking a nap. I never nap, like I nap in that beanbag. Or I will be reading a book, and that will be me on Sunday, like a little cat.
See, I'm a Friday night person.
I genuinely think I enjoy Friday nights more, but I think I'm more relaxed Sundays.
I can't relate to that, but I'm glad you can.
I hate you. I hate you. Yeah. I mean,
Today we I kind of said it in the beginning. Today we kind of went back and forth a little bit on exactly what we wanted to talk about, but we kind of decided on stress because we just had very recent stressors going on in our life. But this is just meant to be relatable and be honest, and I hope you guys could connect with us on
yeah,
some of the
it's
stuff that we are
relatable for
talking
you,
about.
hopefully, and it's therapeutic for us. Like talking through this and talking about stress with Reagan is like helps me kind of cope with that. So I think that's
100%.
one of the main things.
Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode.
Yes.
We are trying to get better on releasing episodes weekly.
The play kind of put a thing in that we're not going to talk about how we didn't
It
get
was
to record.
it
I'm
was a
blaming it
little
on her.
difficult, but we have a plan and we have this whole thing.
Mhm.
Um so things should be going like a bit more
Yeah.
smoothly.
And you guys always feel free to like let us know what you want to hear. Next week's episode will most likely be like a review or something. Hopefully funny.
Yeah, we want to
lighthearted.
do I guess like our first episode I would say was a little like flat because it was just kind of a general overview. We didn't really have like a full on topic.
Mhm.
Today was kind of our first topic episode and it wasn't the most lighthearted. I think it got a bit more, but
Yeah, I think we did
next
good.
week we want it to be a bit more
Lighthearted.
fun.
Maybe we'll try to. Maybe we'll bring someone in next week. No. Maybe we'll see. It will be a surprise if we do.
Also, stay tuned. We're going to be sending out a Google form pretty soon to try and get kind of stuff that you're interested in, and we'll kind of pair and mesh that with things that we're interested in talking
Next
about.
week might be about like our favorite actors, which would be fun to talk about. And if you judge, we don't take judgments here. We like who we like.
But yeah, so all of the episodes right now should be available on the TomTom YouTube and TomTom website.
Yes,
So
I'm really
just
excited.
make sure to look out for that and follow Lamont HS newspaper on Twitter and
Yes,
Instagram
do
for
it.
updates.
Updates.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys.